So apparently Domino's gives you a free emergency pizza. If you want information on that. And the pizza cannot be used as a flotation device. Okay, so today we're going to be reviewing the Domino's Philly Cheesesteak pizza, which is the only Domino's pizza that I like. And I was kind of had sticker shock. Can't believe that a medium pizza was 18 bucks, but back in the 80s and the 90s, I really used to like Domino's. It was, I don't even know how to say it, but their sauce was really good. It was refreshing almost, and you know, everything about it was nice in the 80s and 90s. And they changed the sauce and sometime in the 2000s, and I don't care for it, so I don't eat Domino's regular pizza. This is the only Domino's pizza that I can eat, and it's basically a Philly cheesesteak on pizza crust. And that is the Philly cheesesteak pizza. It comes with mushroom steak, green peppers, and onions. I always get mine without onions because I don't like onions. So let's try it. So there is my slice. And yeah, that's very good. I definitely recommend it. Everything about it works. It's great. I'm going to give it a 7.9 on the chain scale, which ranks it just below Stoner's Pizza. But it's really good, and for my least favorite pizza joint. So that's the review. Let's go take a drive. So the review's over. Let's do the drive. I was reminded going into the Domino's and how it was so different in the 80s and 90s. What traveling was like back in the 1970s. So if you traveled back in the 1970s, or were maybe a long distance trucker, you might enjoy this video, because I'm going to talk about my memories of how things were. You know, I had done a lot of traveling from Miami up to Interlaken when I was really young, which is a huge difference in Miami and Interlaken. But the first time I remember traveling out of state was with my grandparents, and that would have been back in like 78, 79. And one thing that I really remember was just how different every town was. Like today, you go to a small town and anywhere USA, they all pretty much look alike. You know, they'll have their Ace Hardware, they'll have the Dollar General, a convenience store. But it wasn't always the case back in the 70s. You know, everything, it wasn't corporatized. Everything was, you know, localized, and you'd see things in, you know, South Carolina. South Carolina is where I took the trip with my grandparents to, and South Carolina was like going to a completely different country. I mean, there was McDonald's and Kmart's, and but pretty much everything else was like, you know, small business. And that's, you know, true today. Even in big cities, you go to big cities, and you know, some big cities have their touristy sections or whatever that all look different. But as soon as you leave the touristy section and go into the, you know, just town, it is pretty much all the same. Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bell. So that's definitely, it was definitely a lot different in the 70s, because it wasn't like that. And you know, there was the few big corporations like McDonald's and Kmart and all that, Sears, you'd see that. But for the most part, it was You know, all different stuff you didn't see in Florida and South Carolina, stuff you didn't see, you know, at all. So, all right, let me get out, do the AutoZone. We'll come back and continue talking about traveling in the 70s and what that was like. I think I have a few more things I can say about that. All right, so AutoZone is looking about the same. They still have not put in the glass doors yet. So that is the AutoZone update. And as you can see, the fireworks stand is now gone. But it will be back in July. Alright, so back to what I was talking about, you know, traveling in the 70s. I also remember there being like little roadside benches. Concrete benches that were sitting on the side of the road, like for the interstates maybe. They would have been put there like in the 50s or the 60s because they looked old back then, but like we would go to KFC when I was on that trip with my grandparents, and I don't remember there being a drive-through, but I'm sure drive-throughs existed in the late 70s, but maybe some of these little places in South Carolina didn't have them. So I remember we went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it was Kentucky Fried Chicken then, not KFC. And they had the big spinning bucket outside. And we would go in and order our food and get it to go. And then they would drive a few miles down the road and there'd be these concrete benches on the side of the road, which I don't think those benches even exist anymore. They look very old and cracked and everything else back in the 70s. They'd probably been there for 20 years by that point. But those are gone now. Although in Texas, when we drove through Texas on I-10, they do have like little pullovers, you know, with like pavilions and benches under them. But those are all nice and new. And it is not quite the same thing as just some old concrete benches on the side of the road, but and also, you know, on your big interstates today, you have rest areas, which are basically, you know, modern, you know, buildings that have toilet facilities and maybe a few soda vending machines, but definitely didn't have that in the 70s. But yeah, let's see. Now I guess we're gonna go over and do Taco Bell and see what it's looking like. Slight little change at Taco Bell today. It was it's like a color change, but I don't know. I think it is something that's going to be under the final exterior because it's black, and by my memory Taco Bells are all like gray and purple, unless they're going to be different on this one. I don't know. So yeah, do you remember traveling, you know, out of state back in the 70s and remember seeing all the, you know, different businesses that you didn't see in your area? I remember one place in Georgia was like a boiled chicken place, if you can believe that. And I've never seen a boiled chicken restaurant before or after, but they served boiled chicken, and I have never ever seen another one since. Any strange stuff like that, leave me a comment, let me know. Strange things are not afoot at the Circle K, just regular things. Somebody left a comment on my video the other day about a building used to be the post office, and I really don't know what that guy was talking about, but because there was nothing that I showed in that video that would have been a post office that I know of. All right, and here's the Taco Bell. It's like they've spray painted that black. So I don't know if that's what that is, if that's the permanent way it's going to be. And maybe it is, I don't know. Hey, we got some people out there, looks like they're doing some electrical work inside, so hopefully they get that built very soon. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for the Saturday drive today. I hope you found it somewhat relaxing, or you know, put me on in the background while you're vacuuming, or you know, having a coffee, whatever. And we will see you next Saturday, so peace out, everybody.